Yeah, right there is perfect. But wait, you gotta put like a lot,
that's a trail.
You gotta make sure you redo that trail after you like super jizz that spot.
That's a lot, dude.
I get the fuck out of here. I mean, I'm sure.
Hey, I'm Lovelace, and I shape point concept surfboards. Hearing that a friend of mine had built a board when he was 16 or 17, it just kind of hit me. I was like, whoa, alright, sure, if you can do it, I don't see why I can't do it. So I made one, and about a month later I made the second one. And about 2 weeks later I made another one, another 2 weeks later I made another one, and never really stopped. I was never taught by anyone how to shape, or never like taken under the wing of anybody around, so I kind of just learned building surfboards by building anything that was interesting to me. So if I want to do a fish, I'd make myself a fish. If I want a single fin or a thruster or anything, you just make whatever. And hulls have always been like my number one thing. So it's what I like to ride, and I would rather only shape what I like to ride. If you were to trace the lineage of hulls and all the shapers back to it, it's a group of guys back in the 70s that were watching George Greenough and his close friend, Bog McTavish and all those guys in Australia, and then you also had like Greg Little and his crew at Malibu, and then various other people, but they were the main two that were working with bellied out bottoms and shrinking boards. And the hulls evolved from wanting to ride like Greenough's kneeboarding, standing up, which is where all high performance surfing came from, as everyone was watching him and said, oh my god, let's do that, standing up. And hulls went one way and everybody else went the other. A hull is a board that essentially has a few different parts. I mean, there's different variations, but for the most part it has a belly that fades to flat or V or whatever you want to do off the tail end, but for the most part you just have a belly. And an S deck that's really domed. S meaning if you're looking at it from the tail, the whole stringer would rise to the wide point of the board, to the thickest part, and then drop towards the nose and come back up. So you're essentially creating an S, so your stringer line just goes whew, like that. Your rails are pinched or 50-50, however you want. You can do them thicker. Some of the older guys like them a lot thicker, and some young guys like them thinner, and then vice versa. It doesn't really matter, it just depends on your style. But basically, if a hull is shaped right, every curve flows into the next. There's no flat spots, there's no transition points that stick out, there's nothing kind of jarring about the way the shape looks. It's just very flowing, very unassuming. Instead of less contact with the water to make more speed, it's about more contact and letting the water pull you along. So the less you do, the faster you go. Anyone that can ride a single fin or longboard with any kind of flow or style usually does pretty well on a hull. You surf shortboards, you want to attack the wave, or you want to hit the lip or come off a closeout and rebound really hard, or do huge floaters and all that stuff. But hulls are, you can do that same stuff essentially, but it just comes out in a different way, and it's more gentle and it's more flowing. Your style is based on body positioning and the way that you're just really subtly rolling your ankles to turn the board. You're not like whipping your upper body into it and just doing huge turns off the top or blowing your tail out. You're just, when you imagine you're pushing against the water and the surface that's being pushed into the water is a perfect hydrofoil. When you apply pressure to that, it's going to create lift through the water and accelerate you out of your turn. If you get into a good flow on a good wave that lines up for you, you'll be real happy by the end of it. There's obviously days, here and everywhere that suit one board more than another. And on that day, you should ride that board that's right. Like, nobody should be riding hulls every single day of their life. It doesn't make sense, because you won't be able to fully use the wave in front of you all the time. I definitely won't speak for everybody else, but as long as you're having fun in the water, you're surfing well in my eyes.